are 45,000 in the hole for Hurricane Irma. And as Adam said, we are not done. We still have the battle with the insurance company. It's likely we're going to need to spend another 50,000 because we haven't gotten into our deductible, which is what, 42,000 now? So we know we're going to have to spend roughly another 50,000. So we under forecast the extent of the cleanup of Irma. The other special assessment was for litigation related to the lawsuit. And we collected $347,000. We spent $110,000 so far. And if you recall, when we did that special assessment, the special assessment was to carry us through the end of this year, December 2018. So right now, we have $237,000 to fund the rest of the year. We've talked to the attorneys. Their estimate is that should be, if the lawsuit does go and it doesn't get settled before that, that should be enough to cover us for this year as we anticipated. So when you look at it all together, projected spending to complete Irma is probably $100,000 more than the original estimate, and litigation, we should have some, hopefully, money left over. There's always surprises when you look at these things. We just did hire another attorney who's working with us to help us understand our position on Limestone Trail. It's very important, it's emotional to a lot of people. So we're going to have some expenses there. We don't know. We didn't anticipate that. So all of those things have to be factored in. But at the end of the day, our expectation is full year. We're in an excellent position. You know, we do a budget to break even. We shouldn't have a problem achieving that. To the extent we have freed up funds, they'll go to the landscape project and maybe some freed up funds to cover the shortfall in Irma cleanup expenses. So we should be in good shape. The cash forecast indicates it's a small chance that we might need to borrow within a month for a couple of weeks. That's why we have a line of credit. But we have many hundreds of thousands of dollars right now, and we're in good shape there. So all in all, I think it's a good start to the year, especially considering it was the busy season.
Thanks, Jerry. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to talk about Limestone Trail, and I'm making an assumption that many of you, or most of you, were likely at the town hall meeting, but for those who may not have been there, I'll just kind of go through the first part of this quickly. Back in October of last year, the QCA board was notified that a traffic signal would be placed at the intersection of Quarry Drive and Woodcrest Drive at our front gate and Mockley Road in approximately a 12 to 18-month time frame. We found this out through, not through the county, but through the commercial property owners who are part of our Heritage Bay PUD that Heritage Bay, the quarry, and commercial property belong to. Collier County denied a traffic signal at the intersection of Bel-Air Bay Drive and Mockley Road, which is where the racetrack is. And that's what really got the hair up on the back of the necks of the commercial property people, because they feel they, first of all, that they were initially told that they would get one and then denied it later on. So the county told the commercial property owners to get a traffic study done, which they did. And that's when they got us involved. They shared that traffic study with us, and the traffic study shows that if no light goes at Bel-Air Bay Drive, then 35% of the commercial property traffic and the kind of vehicles that would service the businesses there would end up using Limestone Trail, which is our road, right in front of the condos there in Nautical Landing, and comes very close to hole 17 on the golf course and intersects at Quarry Drive at our front gate. Limestone Trail is a private road. It was deeded to the Quarry Community Association by Centex Pulte. And as such, the QCA is responsible for the maintenance, repair, insurance, liability, etc. for Limestone Trail, not the entire PUD, but the Quarry Community Association. So the board members, QCA board members, along with a couple representatives from Gulf and the two guys from the commercial property owners, met twice with the county, once with our commissioner, Bert Saunders, who was somewhat sympathetic to this, but said we needed to talk to Nick Casalanguida, who is the deputy county manager, and his staff in transportation engineering and growth management. And we did that on March 8th. At that meeting, the county was not receptive to any of our ideas about what would be needed if they intended to let Limestone Trail be used by 35% commercial property, the commercial vehicles and traffic. So the county said no, that they weren't interested in landscaping, they weren't interested in the wall, and because they kept saying no, we said, well, then we may have to gate that road, and they said they would not approve that. So they did offer in that meeting on March 8th to come out and conduct a town hall, and the town hall was held on April 11th, and many of you were in attendance. So they provided the history of the PUD, the amendments, and explained that their position is that the PUD provides for interconnectivity, and that's the basis of their argument for why we can't gate. They did make some movement from the March 8th meeting to the April 11th town hall, and that was that they talked about offering to assume maintenance and repair of Limestone Trail and Quarry Drive from the intersection of where Limestone Trail hits Quarry Drive and then all the way out to Amati Road. However, we would still own it, so that doesn't do us a whole lot of good. We still have the insurance, the liability, etc. for that road. So we told the county that while we appreciated the fact that they did make some movement, that their offer does not come nearly close enough to resolve the issues with that road. The Quarry Community Board retained the services of a lawyer with land use and zoning regulations expertise, and we have talked with him on a couple conference calls. We have another meeting with him scheduled this Friday. The Collier County's position is that the PUD provides for interconnectivity, which is the basis of their denial, to allow the Quarry Community Association to gate it if that would become necessary. And our QCA attorney in this regard is saying that the PUD provides for gating and gatehouses on roads within the PUD, and Limestone Trail is a private road owned by the Quarry Community Association. So he's very much in disagreement with where the county is coming from at this point. So we continue to discuss the issues with our attorney. We think we have a good game plan. We've talked about various tasks that have been assigned. The attorney is still reviewing all the history and documents, has made a public records request of the gentleman, Mark Strain, who was at the town hall, who talked about a lot of the previous meetings and what was represented in those meetings, which is why they're saying we can't gate the road, and our attorney is asking for all that documentation. So you can be assured that your board, along with our attorney, are working to protect the rights of our association. Hopefully this doesn't become a big legal battle, but I can't say at this early juncture what it's going to become. It depends, I guess, on whether the county makes some movement. I'm initially encouraged by the fact that they agreed to hold the town hall, that they did make some movement in that town hall, which already shows their, I think, recognizing that they've got a lot of work here to do. We've told them in no uncertain terms that what they've told us to date is unsatisfactory. So we will continue to work on this. Okay, the litigation update, Adam? Okay, I want to talk about our other fight, the Pulte Centex litigation update. As I think all of you are aware, last May, a suit was filed in Collier County Circuit Court. The Corey Community Association is the plaintiff against Pulte Centex, and Pulte Centex has then turned around and named all their subcontractors involved as third-party defendants. So Pulte initially put a motion to stay, which was granted by the court because we had not had a vote, because the litigation is greater than $100,000, that we had not had a vote of the homeowners to move forward with that. So the county granted their motion to stay. We had the vote in November of last year, and I think there were 501 votes and 459 yes votes and 42 no votes to proceed with the litigation. So that was turned over to our attorneys, Paul Janik, and they then informed the court that the vote was held, was overwhelmingly in favor of moving forward, and that motion to stay that was filed by Pulte Centex has finally been lifted, and the litigation is now in full swing. A proposed case management plan is being circulated to all the council to the lawsuit to seek the entry of a case management order by the court. The order will dictate key deadlines for progression of the case, including dates which govern the exchange of information between the parties, depositions, motion practice, and dispute resolution process. The order will also dictate when this matter is set for trial, if it should get that far. Several phases are involved in litigation, as many of you who may be involved in the legal system know, beginning with pretrial litigation and initial pleading, and ending with, again if needed, pretrial submissions and trial. The lawsuit is currently in initial motion practice phase, and that's expected to be completed in July. The initial document deposition, the expert discovery, the amend to add additional parties phase is also underway concurrently with the above phase and could run to October of this year. The estimated cost of litigation for legal fees, costs, and consultant reports through the end of this year remains as previously estimated, when the special assessment of $386 per home was assessed and due by 12/31/17. Jerry referred to that just a little bit ago when he was going through the $347,000 litigation budget. If the litigation extends into 2019, another small assessment may be necessary, as was previously communicated at the time of the initial assessment. At this point, we're on track to the expected cost for 2018. It is anticipated if the case does go to trial, the litigation would conclude in 2019, and a better understanding of the time frame is expected once that case management order, which is underway, is approved by the court. It is important for homeowners to understand that neither the board of directors, either past or present, nor the property management company can divulge information to the owners regarding the litigation because of attorney-client privilege. The board and its counsel will make every effort to continue to provide updates, as we're doing today, to our homeowners. Thank you.
And mine doesn't have anything to do with money, so everybody else spend it. Access policy, Rich Ward did a fantastic job trying to put this together, because we really didn't have anything in writing that kind of covers what we do here. You know, our goal here is to restrict access to people that aren't supposed to be here. But we really don't have that in play. Rich and his team took it upon themselves and really did a great job. I broke it down because Rich is very thorough, and Tom Schoback backed it up, so together that's a lot of work that they've done. So I brought it down into probably a little bit easy to read. And if you ever wanted to see the full strip, it's going to be online on the website. You just have to bend on that. It's not a really big deal. But, you know, the renewals of the vehicle transponders, and thank you guys for your cooperation in doing that. But we have so many thousands of illegal transponders out there from way back when Pulte did to, I think we're down pretty much just a little over 3,000. About right, Rich?
Yeah, we dropped off over 2,000.
So we feel a lot comfortable now with people coming in. One of our big problems is renters and visitors. We're going to try to get to the security company to make sure that they actually give these things. We're having a little bit of a problem with that, but that'll be another subject on another day that we'll deal with. But one of the better things you can do for us is make sure that your visitors do put those placards up on the dash, because it helps us out here when we're running into parking. Everybody knows we have a heritage bay problem with the pools and stuff. It kind of helps us figure this thing out a little bit, who's not supposed to be here and who's here. And we can really get a better feel on that. Coming in the back gate, as you know, we're trying to fence that thing off the best way we possibly can. But if you could tell your vendors and your visitors when they're coming here, don't give them your address. Just give them 8710 Quarry Drive, which is the main guardhouse. So that will make them come up Immokalee and in Quarry Drive that way, instead of coming up Collier trying to get into the back gate, which really causes our damage to our barriers and into the gate back there. We're also implementing a new trailer decal. So when people bring their boats in, the guards will be able to see the yellow stickers on the trailers, which will be posted on the left side of the trailers, which is also going to be help us with our camera views when we have problems coming in and out. Those cameras are now going to be, as you see in the front, are now going to be focused in that area where those decals are. So we'll know who's supposed to be here, who's not supposed to be here. And same with the boats. The boat stickers will be on the left side, port side of the boat. It'll be just under the canvas cover so that we can see that sticker as well. It's not going to be any different than going to the DMV. But in order to get that sticker, you have to come to the office every year and prove ownership and insurance so that we can give you that sticker. That's the only way we can do that. We don't want boats out on the lakes that do not have stickers. And if you don't get the stickers, and we have the list of who it is, we're just going to terminate the transponder so you can't get into the gates. Same with what we did before. When you didn't fill out the forms for the transponders, we terminated those as well, which has caused a little bit of trouble. But at least it got everybody up to date what's going on with that. We're also putting a gate over the boat ramp, which will be to the boaters, so that nobody will be able to go in illegally either. Boat people will be able to have the code or the key, whichever we decide to go, to do that. And that will cut down on illegal use as well of the lakes. That's about all I have. If anybody has any questions on that, we can go. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, Joe, I noticed when I came in the back gate today, there's a chain that crosses over where you couldn't come in the gate, you could before turn around.
Right.
Now people won't be able to turn around, so people get that far.
But you can turn around. That's what you go to the left.
There's a chain link.
Right, but there's enough room to make it before that. Yeah, we purposely did it that way. We made it wide enough for a truck. So before, you kind of got trapped in those two gates. Now you just go around and go out. And if you notice, Rich had these big signs made, these big yellow signs, and we actually put them in Spanish as well. It says, you know, this is residents only. You have to go another way. So we're hoping that works out for us. Nothing else? Okay. Thanks, guys. I turned it on. I didn't know if you needed it.
Probably done with the way I talk. I'm here to talk. If you'll notice, first of all, well, I'll go back. I want to go back.
One on the left. One to the left.
Okay. You'll notice we have a new logo.
Hold on.
Now's our new logo. If you want to go to see Tina, she
has a lot of plasticware, shirts, and all that.
that you can use to get this new logo, and we're pushing that, so please go see Tina and see what we can do. Let's see if I can get that. It helps to have glasses, right? All right. I'm here to talk a little bit about the recent CDD decisions that we had. First of all, we decided that the CDD decided in their last meeting to go with the B2 option for the riprap size. Now what this means is the rock is to be 18 to 28 inches in dimensions, and the shoreline bank will be 24 inches thick. Now, Boulder Lake could withstand with this wind speeds up to 78 miles an hour, and Stone Lake, or Quarry Lake, as most of you are familiar with, could withstand wind speeds up to 62 miles an hour. So this should help us a lot with even some of the storms that we get that have caused damage before. If you don't remember, back in 2016, we only had like 28, 30 mile an hour sustained winds and we had damage. So hopefully this will help us out. So all the minimum maintenance costs according to the Army Corps of Engineers, and it will help maintain that at a minimum cost. So the new bond for the shoreline repair will be of $3.5 million. I know they told everybody in prior meetings it would be $2.5 million. So they've gone up about $1 million in order to account for the B2 option. Metro of Miami is the construction company chosen by the Quarry CDD. They put bids out, nobody bid on it, so they went out and selected, they got a couple of companies to quote them prices. Work schedule is May 21st through October 19th. Next. This is the area where they'll be doing the repair work, and they'll start in phase 1, and they'll move to phase 2, which will be on the north end of the shoreline. And as you can see the numbers here, these will give you the dates. What's important is that people need to recognize that we will have to disconnect all the electricity and water if you have a dock that's in the damaged area. Anything in red will be the damaged area. But if you have a dock that has water and power to it, you are going to have to remove that at your cost and pay for the reconnection as it comes back. So this was something the Quarry CD came up with. It has nothing to do with the QCA. But we felt it was enough of an issue that let people give them enough time to make arrangements to get it done. So all water and electrical lines on the owned docks need to be disconnected at your expense. So the dock rentals, in other words, the ones that we have that we rent you yearly, that will not be affected. The people that are in the inlets will not be affected. It's only in the area on the previous map, like I said, you can see the damaged areas that will be where people have private docks. The other thing is that when your dock is removed, they are going to anchor it out in the lake. So this will affect boating. Again, it is something that we'll have to determine how much it will affect, but be aware that this will happen. Also, if you have a dock and it's going to be repaired, you will need to probably remove the boat from the dock and have it put somewhere while this is all going on. So, we're just trying to give you a heads up. We have not coordinated with the QCDD at all, but we feel that it's in enough of a situation that we need to let you know ahead of time. Okay, so I've gone over a little bit of this. I'm a little bit ahead of myself here. By the dock area, you will also be having some issues there because they're going to do the pre-positioning of all the rock and the trucks will be pulling in and out. We're probably going to use the front gate area as opposed to the back area now to minimize the amount of trucks and rock that are coming through. And they'll be pre-positioning that, so be aware that it will probably affect the people that have boats that pull in and out of the ramp area, because the barges will be using that to get the rock, and then going back under the bridges to go out and do the work. Anything else? I think that's it. Any questions? Yeah.
Chip, the engineer hired by the CDD, the engineer that's been hired by the CDD, Josh, has he been enjoined in the lawsuit by Pulte for the HOA lawsuit?
Yes.
So they hired an engineering firm that is being sued for negligent work that was originally done. That doesn't make too much sense, does it?
Yeah, it's their engineer of record that they've had from the very start. He was Pulte's guy, J.R. Evans, then he became the CDD's engineer, and he has been joined by Terrell Home Associates, I think they can have Terrell Home Associates, as another engineering firm, working together with J.R. Evans Engineering on the repair of the shoreline. So we don't have anything to say on the QCA side about who they choose, who they didn't. We tried. We didn't get very far on that. But yes, J.R. Evans is named by Pulte as a third-party defendant in the lawsuit. So it's pretty convoluted, but that's how it is.
And we are planning also to, right now Josh is going to be, he's going to be appraising his own reconstruction. So we are planning to hire another engineering firm to make sure that it meets the standards that he designed. Any other questions? Yes?
Can you tell, just in simple terms, what they're actually doing? I mean, is it mainly an erosion problem? 'Cause I don't even know what the answer is.
Okay, many of the people that have not been out on the lake are not aware of what's happening. Almost all of the riprap has been lost.
What's the riprap? I mean,
Rocks.
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 See, everything along all the shoreline, there was rocks put there to protect against wave damage, wind, and storm damage. So we've lost in that red area that you saw if I can go back.
So the rock got washed down into the lake? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
So some of the people's backyards have...
Now some people lost up to 15 feet of their shoreline, and they're going to restore it back to the original area. Is their hope? So all the areas here are where you've seen a lot of damage. The areas that had the heaviest damage were areas 1 and 2, and 4 had a little bit over on the northeast section. So what we're trying to do is hit the areas first that have the greatest damage. These people lost a lot of shoreline. We've also lost some as you come in. If you could only see behind the bushes, there are some bushes that are very close to going into the lake. So a lot of things are unseen unless you've been out on a boat. If you look out from the tiki bar, sometimes you just see a white shoreline, but what that is no rock. So hopefully we'll get that all redone when they finish up in October. Any other questions? Yes.
Chip, a lot of people have repaired their dock or in the process of repairing their dock, but there are still a lot of docks that are a mangled mess. What's the QCA doing for the docks that are mangled? There's lots of docks that are mangled out there that homeowners have not repaired. I don't know if they are planning to repair them, not repair them. I would think it's the homeowner's cost to remove those, not our cost to remove those.
The QCA has determined that they, in order to get the shoreline repaired, they will pay to have the docks removed. But the ones that are damaged, I cannot answer how they're going to handle that. Hopefully, the people that have damaged docks that are laying up will do what they can to get it right, or deal with the QCDD. There is a meeting coming up this Thursday, so if you have any questions, that would be the time to approach them about what you would like to have done. So again, this Thursday at 10 o'clock. Any other questions? Yes.
Tony? On the rock trucks, is all the rock going to be dumped and then loaded on barges and taken out? Is there any chance that the rock trucks could be diverted at the entrance of the front and the piling and all that be done on the, I guess it's the south side of this front lake, so that it doesn't go to the boat ramp?
I have had nothing to do with this, so I'm just going to kind of give you, from my point of view, what I see is going on. This was their decision to use the ramp area because I think it's easier for them to get their barges in and out and loaded up. This is a decision made by the Corps and CDD. Any other questions? Yes.
Thanks to the Landscape Committee for recognizing that the West Quarry owners have a really unattractive set of plantings there, or lack of plantings. And the fact that they're not only looking at appearance, but also function. That is to keep people from walking from the Collier Boulevard extension over the berm into our backyards. My question is, or my suggestion is, that they give thought to landscaping that has immediate effect, instead of little plants that over time will grow, something that immediately will achieve the function you're seeking.
Let me get my better half to explain that.
We agree. Nothing personal, I'm sure.
So, two of the plants that we're using, one is Podocarpus, and you'll see that along, well, there is some already planted there and it's very high. We will be planting taller Podocarpus, mainly where the trees are now that they would hit each other. As I mentioned before, we don't want to kill the trees because they're really pretty. The areas that are blank, we will be putting in the fishtail palms, which grow really fast. So, and not only do they grow up, but they start sending up shoots around them. So, I don't know if, we don't have any here now, but if you see them around town, they basically look like a big round thing, but they grow fast. So, it won't take too long for them to get